So this is one of those videos that I make where, shut up, Shepard. Give me just a minute, man. I got to get this thought out. Okay. So I had to explain this to my chat today because not everybody watches all of my TikToks. So sometimes we're going to revisit some subjects just to provide additional clarity. Uh, I always knew that there was a path where they're trying to, Russia's trying to undermine the integrity of our beauty pageant. And the way they did that was calling in 80 bangerang threats to majority black polling places, which is election interference. That is enough to annul an election. Okay, but before we even get there, I explained in my chat today that why would the Democrats run a candidate for president that you don't expect to win? So regardless of how this election turned out on paper as it stands right now, they wouldn't have run Kamala Harris if they didn't know they was going to win. Because their internal polling never had her beating him. And so the reason that Donald Trump is in hot water is because, and the reason he wants to eliminate all these three-letter agencies is because what he was planning on was this election, the integrity of the election getting called into question. Kamala Harris pushes for recounts, pushes for audits. She has to pay for all these things, right? And then bungle the messaging, right? Because Elmo owns Twitter, right? Bungle the messaging, and ultimately try to get it to a friendly Supreme Court, which right now he has, right? And leave it up to the states, which right now they have more, to decide the outcome of this election. And for a lot of people, they were really closed off. After this election came in, they were like, hey, whatever happens after the election doesn't matter. Donald Trump's going to be president. There's nothing you can do about it. And I wanted to point out a couple things that may help you, give you a little bit of hope. But more importantly, these are just facts that you need to know. In September, Jamie Raskin was asked about the 14th Amendment and Donald Trump. And you know what he said? And I quote, well, Jamie Raskin says, if the voters won't do it, then we will just have to do it on January 6th. And that's tell Donald Trump that he's not eligible to be president because he's in violation of the 14th Amendment, Article 3. And we're going to need bodyguards. And it's going to be a Civil War type thing, right? He said that in September. They knew that. Also in September, on its anniversary, Joe Biden renewed Executive Order 13848. So I want you to write that down. Executive Order 13848. And then understand that I knew this whole time that if Donald Trump could bungle the results of this election, he could ultimately put it in the hands of a friendly SCOTUS, put it in the hands of the states individually, and ultimately he could hijack the presidency. I've known that. But I didn't know about Executive Order 13848. And you know what it does? It takes those election crimes and it gives them to the Department of Justice. Yeah. SCOTUS can't do shit about it. And Donald Trump wrote this law, this Executive Order 13848. Joe Biden just continued it. And I just want to point that out before December 20th, because what Executive Order 13848 says is 45 days after the election, and a report is due to the secretaries, of state, defense, commerce, all that shit, agriculture, are all due a report from all of the agencies. Yep, those three-letter agencies that Donald Trump wants to destroy, they now get to do research on this election within 45 days of it ending, and they get to provide a report on December 20th. Christmas surprise, bitches. Donald Trump wrote a law requiring that within 45 days of every election, a report is due from all these agencies that Donald Trump doesn't like, are all about to give a whole bunch of information to those secretaries. Yeah, that's right. And so I just want to point that out before it all goes down. Donald Trump's going to get got by his own fucking rule, and otherwise, he actually had a route to the presidency. No one could fuck themselves harder than Donald Trump has. So for all of you that are still munching on Donald Trump's fucking entrails as he gets drug across the parade deck, I just want you to understand he's a traitor. He ain't gonna be president. And the best part about all of this is that he did this all to himself. So enjoy that. Sit with that. I want you to wear it for the rest of your life. That scarlet letter, that red MAGA hat that lets everyone know how of a gullible dumbass you are. Congratulations. Congratulations. There was a speck of fucking hope. And that's Donald Trump. Me saying Donald Trump had a speck of hope of being president. He had a sparkle. And because of a law he passed that Joe Biden was like, it's a pretty good rule. I'm going to re-sign that shit. Donald Trump is in hot water. Enjoy.